My name is Russell Lukadu, President and Chief Strategist of H Architecture. I am the HR guy for small business. My firm exists to leverage my expertise and experience to help small business owners achieve their dreams through effective use of their teams. Today I want to talk about teamwork. Teamwork always rises to conversation during this March Madness season in college basketball. America seems to be fascinated as these college kids exhibit their athleticism in addition to their sportsmanship and their teamwork as they strive to become the national champions. In the business world, teamwork is important and is often something every company strives to achieve. They want to say, we're a team here. We're a winning team. Join our team. Let's be a team. And you're not a team player, or you are a team player. So teamwork is a value that is essential for running a business. When I work with my clients in developing their why, how, and what statements, their how statements or values often include words like teamwork, collaboration, cooperation, support. Those are teamwork as a value. So let's talk about what teamwork really is and how a team is formed and how human resources policies and practices can unintentionally destroy teamwork. A team is a small group of people with complementary skills that are committed to a common purpose, goal, or approach, for which they hold each other mutually accountable. A team is not just a group of people wearing the same jersey or drawing a paycheck from a common source. In order to develop teamwork, it's important that leaders understand how teams evolve. Every team goes through a predictable cycle of development. The first phase is called forming. This is when a team comes together, new members, they get their charge or their goal, and they begin to learn each other's strengths and weaknesses and understand what drives each other. They begin to communicate and they move into the second phase, which is called norming. A norming team has begun to, like I said, trust each other, understand their drivers, strengths and weaknesses, and they begin to depend on each other, and it appears that they are well on their way to becoming a team. The third stage occurs called storming, when something often external to the team occurs that creates chaos or backsliding as a team that was norming begins to slide back into non-performance. Members of the team begin to vie for attention. They begin to vie for credit. They begin to, instead of feeding off each other, compete with each other on the team. It's important that you understand that storming can begin with an external event such as an injury, turnover, or lack of clear guidance from leadership. The final stage, though, once that storming has occurred, and it is typically inevitable, when the storm passes, the team can then begin to perform the final stage. Things are going well, they're depending on each other, they're feeding off each other, they're cooperating well, they have each other's back, and they're winning. Unfortunately, this is not a linear process. They don't always go from forming to norming to storming to performing. Often a team that's performing can backslide into storming, go all the way back into forming if there's a lot of turnover. They may skip the norming stage, which makes the storming phase even more difficult. But when all this is said and done, they can evolve back into the performing stage. But remember, it's a fragile situation that can change. Leaders have to understand their role in each stage of this process. Leadership during the forming stage has to be very directive, provide a lot of structure and instruction and definition. Once that forming stage ends, leadership needs to step back, observe from a third party what's going on, and provide guidance and steer the team toward performing. When storming occurs, they need to step in more assertively, resolve any conflicts amongst team members, work with them to define their roles, define their capabilities, and how dependence needs to happen. So similar to in the forming stage, leaders are extremely vital to be heavily involved, but not to take over the team during the storming phase. In the final phase, the performing stage, leadership steps back and enjoys the fruits of this teamwork. I have many clients who espouse the value of teamwork, but they also espouse the concept and principle of meritocracy. Meritocracy is pay for performance. Individual effort gets individual reward. So you can see how meritocracy and teamwork can conflict with each other if the human resources systems are not carefully crafted to support both principles. How many times have you gone into a retail situation, an appliance store, or a furniture store, a car lot, and an individual greets you at the door, tells you their name, and then you say, "Oh, I'm fine now, I'm just going to look around." Then you ask a second salesperson on the floor, "Would you help me answer this question?" Team salesperson number one literally jumps across the floor, gets between you and salesperson number two because they feel salesperson number two is stealing their sale. On the other hand, in the absence of individual accountability, how often have you seen companies fail when people don't understand their individual responsibilities on the team and things fall between the cracks or get duplicated? So it's really a craft or an art to balance those two important principles, meritocracy and teamwork. It's important to take a look at your human resources systems and processes, such as interviewing, selection, reward and recognition, progressive discipline, and even termination, to make sure that the values of teamwork and meritocracy are equally supported. As an example, teamwork's important, but are team members involved in the interview process? Or does the leader say, "Here's your new team member, make it work"? In incentive and recognition programs, is it 100% individually driven and therefore displacing any cooperation or help with each other? Or is there an element of teamwork that rewards handoffs and support? Do progressive disciplinary systems, write-ups, do they cite teamwork and meritocracy if that's the case? But specifically, are those principles cited during reprimands and counseling sessions? As an example, going back to the incentive programs, they can be defined to include individual performance as the driver, if that's your principle, but have a kicker or qualifier or a modifier added to the individual performance so that both principles are addressed. For example, you may have an individual sales program that has overall minimum thresholds for everybody, or individual contribution, and then if the team hits their goal, the rewards increased. If I can be of any assistance to you in helping review and refine your HR processes to support teamwork, I'd love for you to contact me so that I can be of assistance. Have a great day.